The Hollywood sign loomed over Tinseltown like a silent judge, its white letters gleaming under the July sun. But down below, the city was buzzing with whispers of tragedy and secrets. It was July 3rd, 2025, and the air was thick with the kind of drama that could only brew in a place where dreams and heartbreak shared the same red carpet. The 4th of July was just around the corner, but instead of barbecues and fireworks, the elite were grappling with a shockwave that had just hit the tabloids. Michael Madsen, the tough guy legend of Reservoir Dogs, was gone. Dead at 67, his publicist confirmed, leaving behind a legacy of gritty roles and a trail of unanswered questions. The news dropped like a bombshell, and the town was already spinning tales about what really happened. At the Chateau Marmont, where the walls practically whispered secrets, a group of A-listers gathered in a private suite, their usual champagne-soaked laughter replaced by hushed tones. Among them was Caitlyn Jenner, still reeling from her own personal loss. Just days earlier, her close friend and rumored gal pal, Sophia Hutchins, had tragically died at 29 in an ATV accident near Caitlyn's Malibu estate. The gossip mills were churning. Was it just a horrific accident, or was there more to the story? Caitlyn, usually a fortress of poise, looked shaken as she sipped a sparkling water, her eyes darting to her phone every few seconds. Word on the street was she'd been fielding calls from reporters nonstop, all hungry for a soundbite about Sophia. "She's devastated," a source close to Caitlyn dished to Hollywood Life. Sophia was like family. "This one's gonna leave a mark." Across town, at a sleek rooftop bar in West Hollywood, the vibe was no less intense. Jeremy Allen White, the heartthrob chef from The Bear, was spotted nursing a whiskey, his signature tousled hair catching the golden hour light. He was fresh off a killer season, but the buzz wasn't about his acting chops. No, the paparazzi were obsessed with his maybe not romance with co-star Molly Gordon. The two had been dodging rumors for weeks, their on-screen chemistry spilling into real life, or so the tabloids hoped. A grainy Instagram post of them laughing at a rap party had set X ablaze, with fans screaming, "Just make it official already." But Jeremy wasn't talking, and Molly was nowhere to be seen tonight. Instead, he was flanked by a couple of the Bear crew members, who were quick to change the subject when a nosy influencer tried to fish for deets. "He's keeping it chill," one of them muttered, shooting a warning glance. Meanwhile, the Love Island USA drama was spilling over from Fiji to LA's elite circles. Yulisa Escobar, the bombshell who'd vanished from the villa after episode 2, was back in town, and she wasn't holding back. At a pop-up event for a new athleisure line, she spilled the tea to E! Online, claiming her exit from the show wasn't as abrupt as it seemed. "There's stuff they don't show you," she teased, tossing her hair with a smirk. The rumor? A behind-the-scenes clash with producers over villa dynamics. Yulisa's cryptic ex-posts didn't help. With one reading, truth always comes out. Stay tuned. Flexed biceps, the Love Island fanbase was eating it up, speculating about everything from a secret fling to a production cover-up. And with the show's iconic suitcase photo ops going viral, Yulisa was milking her 15 minutes for all it was worth. Back at the chateau, the mood shifted as a new face slipped into the suite. Khloe Kardashian, rocking a patriotic red dress that screamed 4th of July chic. She was all smiles, posting a loved-up snap with her kids on Instagram, but the gossip hounds weren't buying the happy family act. Whispers were swirling about her recent comments on her traumatic split from Tristan Thompson and how her divorce from Lamar Odom had prepped her for the chaos. "Khloe's been through hell and back," a friend spilled the Daily Mail. "She's tougher than ever, but don't let that smile fool you. She's still healing." The room buzzed as she greeted Caitlyn, their hug lingering just long enough to spark a few raised eyebrows. Were they bonding over shared grief, or was there more to their powwow? As the night deepened, the city pulsed with questions. What had taken Michael Madsen so suddenly? Was Caitlyn hiding something about Sophia's accident? Would Jeremy and Molly ever confirm their romance? And what was Yulisa planning to drop next? Hollywood was holding its breath, knowing the truth was always juicier than the headlines. One thing was clear, this wasn't just another week in Tinseltown. This was a storm brewing, and the fallout was gonna be epic. The 4th of July hit Los Angeles like a glossy magazine cover, sky bluer than a filter could dream up, air thick with summer vibes. But the Hollywood crowd? They weren't popping champagne or lighting sparklers. Nah, they were too busy licking their wounds after the 1-2 punch of Michael Madsen's death and Sophia Hutchins' freak accident. The tabloids were eating it up, spitting out headlines faster than you could say Botox. Up in Malibu, Caitlyn Jenner was barricaded in her mansion, blinds snapped shut like she could block out the chaos. Good luck with that. Han privacy in this town's rarer than a starlet who doesn't own a selfie stick. Inside Caitlyn's place, it was all gloom and no glam. She was parked in her living room, staring at a photo of Sophia, her eyes puffy and tired. Word on the street was Sophia wiped out on an ATV somewhere on the estate, but the story had more holes than a cheap pair of leggings. She knew how to ride, a family friend blabbed to TMZ. No way she just ate it like that. Twitter was on fire, people tossing around theories like confetti. Was it sabotage? Was Caitlyn covering something up? Cops shut it down quick, calling it an accident, but that just made folks squint harder. She's got lawyers on speed dial now, a Page 6 snitch said. That's not the move of someone with nothing to hide. Downtown, the Love Island USA mess was hitting peak drama. Yulisa Escobar, the villa's chaos queen, was perched at some swanky rooftop bar, surrounded by wannabe influencers drooling for a scoop. She just posted some vague Insta story about a big reveal, and the fandom was spiraling. Book deal? Producer takedown? She's sitting on some serious tea, an Island insider told E! Yulisa just smirked, stirring her mojito like she was mixing up trouble. Patience, y'all, she drawled, that grin screaming she had the upper hand. Up in the hills, the Madsen clan was still reeling. Michael's heart attack ruling sounded legit, but the timing? Sketchy as hell. He'd been seen days before, slouched in a Santa Monica dive bar, looking like a ghost with a whiskey chaser. Unfinished business, he'd mumbled, loud enough for some nosy bartender to overhear. Now the rumor mill was spinning. Was he cooking up a comeback? A juicy memoir? And what about that supposed beef with Quentin Tarantino? Michael was salty about getting cut from Quentin's last flick, a Variety source dished. The family wasn't talking, which just made the theories juicier. Over at the Chateau Marmont, the A-listers were sipping mimosas and swapping dirt. Khloe Kardashian rolled in, trading her usual glam for something darker, think funeral fab. Kim and Kourtney were there too, circling the wagons. Khloe's over it, a Daily Mail mole said. Tristan, the drama, she's ready to unload. Word was she might spill it all to Oprah, no filter. She's done being the good girl, the source added. Buckle up. As the sun sank, painting LA gold, the questions piled up. What's Caitlyn burying? What's Yulisa got up her sleeve? And what did Michael know that we don't? Hollywood's a machine that runs on secrets, and this story's got legs. The truth's out there, simmering, and in this town, it's only a matter of time before it blows wide open. The 4th of July fireworks ripped through the LA sky like some wild, Technicolor fever dream. But down below, the real explosions were popping off behind closed doors. Caitlyn Jenner's Malibu estate was still locked down tighter than a drum, but the whispers were spilling out like a cheap wine stain. A fresh rumor hit the blogs. Sophia Hutchins' ATV accident wasn't a solo joyride. There was a second player in the game. Some dude from the catering staff, a source dished to Radar Online. He bolted right after, and now he's ghosted. The internet went nuts. Was this guy the missing piece? Cops were looking into it. But Caitlyn's crew was already in spin mode, calling it baseless speculation. Sure, whatever, like that's ever stopped the rumor mill in this town. Meanwhile, Yulisa Escobar dropped a freaking bombshell on the Love Island USA reunion special, and it was pure chaos. She strutted out in a neon bikini, smirking like she owned the joint, and let it rip. Producers had been juicing the challenges to prop up certain islanders. It was all a setup, she said, flashing a stack of emails she swore proved it. Twitter freaking exploded, fans howling for blood. The network scrambled, tossing out some lame, "we're investigating" line, but it was too late. Yulisa was the name on everyone's lips, and the show's cred was toast. She's playing with fire, an insider told Us Weekly. But in Hollywood, scandal's the golden ticket. Over at the Madsen place, shit was getting spooky. A weird-ass note turned up, supposedly dug out of Michael's trailer from his last gig. It said, "The truth's buried in the desert. Follow the snake." Total Madsen move. Guy loved his cryptic vibes. The note blew up online, and now every armchair detective in Tinseltown was playing Sherlock. Was it a script? A treasure hunt? Or something way darker? Quentin Tarantino, who'd been ducking questions about their beef, finally opened up on a podcast. Mike was a complicated dude, he said, sounding kinda heavy. We had our fights, but I respected him. Hope he found whatever he was after. Back at the Chateau Marmont, the Kardashian-Jenner posse was still holed up, but the vibe was shifting. Khloe got caught sneaking out the back, dodging paps like a ninja. Word on the street? She'd locked down a deal with Oprah, and a tell-all was dropping next month. She's ready to torch everything. A family friend spilled to people. Tristan, Lamar, the whole damn circus. She's spilling it all. The fam was split. Kim was hyped. Courtney was stressing the fallout. But Chloe? She was over being the nice girl. This is her big play, the source said. She's grabbing the wheel. As the night dragged on, LA was buzzing like a kicked hive. Would the mystery writer pop up? Would Ulysses's nuke kill Love Island for good? And what the hell was up with Michael's note? Hollywood was a pressure cooker, and the lid was rattling. One thing was clear. This was just the warm-up, and the real fireworks were still coming. The July heat was roasting Los Angeles like a cheap hot dog, but the real fireworks were popping off away from the paparazzi's lenses. Picture this. A dusty Jeep tearing through the Mojave Desert, headed straight for an abandoned movie set. A creepy old western town that hadn't seen a camera crew since Reagan was in office. Behind the wheel was Jake, the mystery writer from Sophia Hutchins' wild ATV crash. Yeah, that guy. He was a caterer with a shady past and a talent for disappearing when the heat turned up. Lately, he'd been ducking Caitlyn Jenner's legal team, but now he was on a mission. That cryptic note from Michael Madsen's trailer, Follow the Snake, was burning a hole in his pocket. Jake's eyes locked on a weird, twisty rock formation in the distance that looked like a rattlesnake's tail. This better pay off, he grumbled, flooring the gas. Meanwhile, back in the glitzy chaos of the Hollywood Hills, Ulysses Escobar was milking her moment like a reality TV queen. After dropping that Love Island USA bombshell on live TV, she scored a hot seat with TMZ and didn't hold back. The producers played us like cheap violins, she snapped, flipping her hair for maximum drama. The network was in full damage control mode, firing off denials faster than you can say ratings, but Ulysses wasn't slowing down. Word on the street? She was pitching a tell-all book, and the publishing world was eating it up. She's got the dirt, emails, texts, everything. A variety insider dished. Trouble was, not everyone was buying her story. Some ex-Islanders were calling her out, whispering to E that she staged the whole meltdown for attention. She's a fame leech, one of them hissed. Don't fall for it. Over at Kim Kardashian's Calabasas mansion, the vibe was tense but glamorous. Chloe was pacing by the pool, her phone practically glued to her face as she hashed out her big Oprah sit-down. I want it real, she barked at her publicist. No sugarcoating, no BS. Kim, sprawled on a chaise with a green juice in hand, watched her sister like a hawk. You sure you're ready for this, Coco? She asked, her tone light, but her eyes serious. Chloe didn't flinch. I've never been more ready. It's my turn. The family was divided. Courtney was predicting a PR disaster, but Kim was rooting for her. Let her spill the tea, Kim said with a smirk. It's her show now. Out in the desert, Jake's Jeep skidded to a stop by that snake-shaped rock. He jumped out, grabbed a shovel, and started digging like his life depended on it. 10 sweaty minutes later, clang, he hit pay dirt, a rusted metal box buried in the sand. Inside, a stash of yellowed scripts, some grainy photos, and a USB drive with The Truth scrawled on it. Jake's heart was pounding. Was this Michael Madsen's big secret? He shoved the USB in his pocket and peeled out, leaving a dust storm in his wake. Whatever was on that drive, it was about to shake things up, big time. As the sun sank over LA, casting long shadows and a golden glow, the city was buzzing with anticipation. Jake was racing back with a potential bombshell, Ulysses's book deal was gaining steam, and Chloe's tell-all was greenlit. But this is Hollywood, folks. Nothing's ever straightforward. There's always another curveball coming. And trust me, the next one's gonna hit like a freight train.